Well, Matt, I just want to congratulate you, dude, on your new position at
Thank you.
Battlefield Studios, Human Resources.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
think
The other
that's
position. Oh, I thought you were talking about another position. Yeah, I'm all over the place, so it gets a little hard
you're an
to manage.
entrepreneur, Matt. You've got a
What can I
lot
say?
of high profile jobs, and I am
Yeah.
endlessly impressed with your ability to just get yourself out there and get all these amazing
Now,
opportunities.
now, what have I done? I can't remember exactly. There's just been so many opportunities.
Well, I mean, all the cool things you've done. I think the coolest thing that you did recently was your sort of restructure, your alignment of the new Battlefield Studios, and
Oh, yeah, you're implying that I fired a
realigning.
bunch of people. Okay, I was wondering where you're going with
Hang
this.
on,
Yes,
hang
yes,
on.
yes.
We don't use the
Oh, okay.
word fired. Okay, you have realigned them to LinkedIn, where they can go look for a different job now. You've aligned them, right? Is
It's a
that no?
it's a nicer way of putting it.
So I guess my question to you is, what was the thinking there, Matt? Why fire
As
Battlefield
everything
devs?
is when it comes to giant corporations, money.
Yeah,
Lots of money.
gonna make that money.
Yeah, that was really disappointing news to hear for sure.
It's the juxtaposition of the news.
Yep.
I wouldn't.
That's the big thing.
I wouldn't be surprised if almost every major studio had their sort of tightening down post-launch phase. After a big game
Uh-huh.
ships.
Yeah.
But you don't hear about it because most people don't ship the best-selling game of the year, right?
Yeah.
When you go, hey, best-selling game of the year, we are also going to fire some people. It
Did they ever
doesn't.
announce how many people they actually laid off? Because I don't think there was
No,
official
no.
numbers. I think they just yeah, there's some people that were laid off. So
I don't think
we
they
don't really
would.
know.
Actually, I don't even know why we do hear the exact numbers of. Maybe I really don't know why, because you hear rumors about like, oh, Facebook's firing like 15% of whoever, and
Right.
you're like, whoa,
Right.
that's a lot of people. I don't think we got any numbers here. People speculated it was relatively large since I think it hit like almost every single Battlefield studio. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I talked about it a little bit in a dedicated video, and I mean, it sucks. I think studios could plan for this more, where they have more places for their trained devs to move over to, after a big title launches. But I
Yeah.
kind of made the analogy to like the film industry, like a script gets greenlit, you start production, you hire actors, you get the crew, you hire everybody you need, writers, everything. Then you do post-production, all that stuff. But like when the project's over, nobody's working on that movie anymore. So, I mean, it's sort of the gig work economy.
Right.
And I think we wish gaming wasn't like that, but it kind of is like that because
In a way, but also at the same time, like you said, the contrast between selling the biggest title,
yeah,
but also like we've heard now from DICE, well, whatever Battlefield Studios, whatever they're called these days, that we don't have the resources to make more content for Battlefield 6 post launch. It's like, okay, that's a little bit of a conflicting message now when you're starting to fire people. It's like, well, do you actually have the resources or do you choose not to? I think they're choosing not to have the resources. So yeah, that kind of conflicts with the narrative of like everything. And also you would hope that the people that were working on Battlefield 6 are now would have been working on the next Battlefield or working on post-launch content, right? That's so yes, the comparison to the movie industry is, at least a little appropriate, but I would hope that it's not to that extreme where, you're literally bouncing between.
I think, well, it's certainly within the interest of a major studio to not lose your veteran talent, right? It takes a long time to train up people on your tools, your workflow, and all that stuff. You don't want to lose them. It's like even if we are just talking about numbers and not even the morality of it for a second, it's still very much a numbers game where it's like, we don't want to lose those people. If we fire them, they're super talented. They'll get a job somewhere else, and then we won't be able to get them back when we need them. So, like, obviously, in their best incentive to keep their top talent. It doesn't quite work out where you're like, just start the next Battlefield game before you finish the new one so that you can just shift everybody over to it, because they have, as I am learning all the fun ins and outs of game production, they have pre-production and production and then like, post-launch and all that stuff.
Right.
So like Pre-production is when you want a slim team that starts building out the tools and figuring out what's fun and working on the game design and, getting all the tool sets and workflow in place so that when you hit production, you can bring on everybody and not waste a whole bunch of time and resources. So that means that if they're in pre-production when Battlefield 6 ships, well, that pre-production team's not going to be able to take on all those people.
Right.
So,
I hear you.
Yeah. I'm not defending EA per se. I'm really just kind of laying out how the industry works. Yeah.
Oh, no, though. It's unfortunate news.
It is. It's unfortunate news. And I do hope that anybody who lost their job is able to get a new one quickly.
Yep. Land on their feet. Yep.
Yeah. Man, this last week has been a little wild in the hardware space. Well, first of all, we missed an episode.
Well, first of all, would you like to apologize?
For which thing, Matt?
For abandoning me?
Abandoning you. I missed you, dude. Monday came around, and despite having a really busy, crazy Monday, because I went to GDC last week, I was like, oh, I want to talk to Matt about all this cool stuff that I'm seeing right now. So, I just pocketed all the info, and now we get to talk about it, but I do want to lead off with, it just came out, so it's really fresh.
Yeah, it's super fresh. It's about as fresh as you can get.
About as fresh as you can get. We record this on Monday, so the NVIDIA showcase at GTC happened, and they showed off a whole bunch of tech, one of which was DLSS5, the new DLSS. What'd you think, Matt?
So I like NVIDIA. Yeah. I've enjoyed their technology for many, many years now. Big fan. But I gotta say, DLSS5 is not the direction I was really hoping that they would take. The video that they showcased was basically what you would assume for DLSS, where, they're like showing off the frame rate and everything. And but this is like literally taking characters in video games and then like adding, like you're playing a game, but then it makes it into like look like an AI character where they're trying to go for like this like realistic, but it's not realistic, and you can tell it's AI, but you can like really tell that it's AI. And this is not for me. This is not what I want them to be focusing on at all, personally.
Yeah. So it's certainly controversial. Like the threads lit up immediately. So to try and explain the tech, which very few people I think are actually qualified to explain this tech. DLSS5 is like basically a AI lighting system. So they go into your game and they're showing off examples with older games. Starfield was one of them, which looks like an older game for sure, even if it's not that old. And they're like, check it out. DLSS off, DLSS on. And the characters went from pretty flat looking renders, which we expect from Starfield, to, whoa, is this hey, AI makes Starfield look better type render. And that's kind of what it's got to be
more than just the lighting, because like the character, it looks like they're adding things to the scene. It's not just the lighting. Like the character actually has like different wrinkles now, and like they have eyeliner, and
I'll look at it
again.
Actually
adding stuff.
I will look at it again, but I believe it was primarily focused on the lighting system, which if you have wrinkles, that could be because if you think about it, the way you would do wrinkles on a character in a game would just be with like a normal map, which tells the lighting where to land on a character, which gives you the impression of wrinkles. You're not actually modeling wrinkles. So it could still fall within the purview of a lighting AI modifier. But
so I'm looking at they show off Resident Evil Requiem, and they're showing off and her nose changes shape.
Does it really?
It looks like it changes shape.
Okay.
Like it kind of gets more pointy. It could be the lighting is just bouncing off of it now, and it's causing it to like look different.
I'm gonna run you through DLSS5, Matt. See what you look like.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, the next podcast is gonna be sponsored by NVIDIA, and we are gonna have DLSS5 on for us, and we'll see. What if it aged us up, dude? That would suck. It's like, you
that
guys
would
are
suck.
wrinkly characters for sure.
You are very wrinkly now.
Yeah.
Like, I guess you're right. Like, in a way, it doesn't seem to be like my first impressions looked like it was adding.
It's because
but
lighting is kind of everything if you think about it.
What's that?
It's because lighting is almost everything if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like,
but like it makes the characters look completely different. Like they especially the Hogwarts Legacy guy, he just looks like as someone typed into their AI prompt, like, make that character, and then it did that, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know, man.
So yeah, I'm on the fence with this as well. So artists clearly are, because they're like, oh, it's throwing away my artistic control of a game, right? You say,
yeah,
put the AI filter on my whole game, and now it just looks like something that I'm just sort of turning it on and being like, I guess this is what my game looks like now.
Bro, the Starfield one is they're just a different person. Like,
yeah.
they're just.
Now, granted, I think Starfield looks way better, but that's because Starfield did not look good. Like it was kind of notorious for having those really uncanny character dialogue sequences.
But this looks even more uncanny. Like, you could just tell it's AI, though. That's the thing. Is like, you can just kind of tell.
Well,
I don't know, man.
It's a wild direction. Here's my theory on this, because I think NVIDIA is going to see a lot of this community backlash on like, whoa, like, it looks really good in a certain aspect, and also kind of creepy if your eye is tuned to the AI look, basically.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, creepy, but also everything's just kind of looking like that generic AI look now. So I think they're going to put in more controls for developers to control what models it's using and what techniques and whatever, so that they can dial in the DLSS5 look more to what they prefer. And I think, what is it, Todd Howard, the guy, Bethesda guy?
Yeah.
He said he liked it and that it represented the look he wanted for Starfield that they couldn't achieve. So it's like,
really,
some devs are backing this, others are not. Some players are backing it, others are not. It's all over the map right now. But I think NVIDIA, they said it's supposed to come out, I think, later this year, which seems too soon, to be honest, because their demo was running on two 5090s. Which I know, which you're like, okay, so like 12 people will be able to run this technology. I assume want to get it running on all the 50 series cards. But I think they got some time. They got some time to let it cook, and work on it a bit.
Yeah, I think the reason why it looks off to me is that it takes a character that looks like a video game character and makes them look like more of a real person. But they're still in a video game world.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. People were saying
I think that's why it feels weird.
Yeah, they're saying like, what if you apply DLSS5 to like a Zelda game or something? Like, what the heck would happen? Because it's got a very stylized art style. Now all of a sudden people are getting and I assume you're
walking through the plains, and then all of a sudden Link walks out and he just looks like a Giga Chad, just like an actual person. You're like,
his skin is shiny and oiled up and stuff.
Yeah, what is this?
I think so. I assume that the styling of it is developer controlled, so you can't just be like the dev wouldn't be like, all right, when you turn it on, make everybody look lifelike. It'd be like, improve the shadows for our cell shaded style, whatever. I don't know, but I think it's cool from a tech perspective. I think it's got to cook a little more in the oven. I am impressed. I'm impressed with what it can do, but I also understand all the hang on a sec, we don't want all of our games looking like AI people all of a sudden. It's like, it's like when those
the technology is impressive. There's no doubt about that. Like, the fact that this is where just from a technological standpoint, completely agree. It is actually very impressive. But is this what I want for my games? My gut reaction at the beginning, my first reaction is, whoa, this is jarring. So
yeah.
And that was literally 30 minutes ago. So
for sure.
I haven't had a lot of time to process it.
I'm really curious about it because it's got all this other stuff. Because it's if we don't look at the character faces for a second and look at some of the other things in the environment,
like the environment and stuff.
Yeah, you're like, wow, it's actually like in the Assassin's Creed demo, it was simulating ray trace shadows for out into an infinite distance for
Wow.
a forest. And you're like, that's pretty dang cool. That would
That is
be
cool.
undoable on modern tech. Like that would be
Right.
too many rays to calculate and do at a reasonable rate. So all of that tech has distance limitations, because Unreal, when you're working in Unreal, they're like, what shadows do you want to use from 0 to 100 meters? Okay, from 200 to 500 meters, what do you want to use? And beyond that, what do you want to use? And it can literally switch your shadow engines to more and more performant things the further and further away things get. But if you have this thing just being like, nah, just ray trace them all. And you're like, oh, you can do that now? That's cool tech. So
it is.
That's some of the stuff I'm more excited for. And I think that conversation got lost a little bit behind the characters looking like AI characters, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm curious for it. What I did, now I was at GDC, and other NVIDIA stuff that I saw there that I think looks really cool, that I think we're getting now or like really soon, is DLSS 4.5.
Okay.
And that, man, dude, so that, you know how like upscaling models, they have different, I forgot what they're called. They're basically just, they're basically different models for how they upscale. And so they have like, I think it's called CNN or different versions of them that upscale them in different ways. Well, they got a new one now for DLSS 4.5, and they're taking 720p gameplay and upscaling it to 4K. And it looked incredible. Like it looked really, really good.
Nice.
So they're just, and of course it has to do with all the neural path, whatever stuff they're doing. Stuff that is way beyond my pay grade, where I'm just like, that's cool. That looks really good. How are you doing that? Because
magic.
They had a button
literally
there.
Wizardry.
It is literally, because they had a button where you press 720p and then you're looking at 720p Clair Obscure, and you're like, well, okay, well, there's not a lot of info to work with there. And then they hit 4K and you're like, where are these details coming from? Where did you find the details? Because they didn't exist before.
Well, that's the thing, is like, are they adding their own
visual
flair to it?
I thought it looked,
I think that's
really,
the worry that some people have, right?
Sure. I thought it looked really incredible. They also have, with adaptive frame rendering, they can go up to 6x now with 4.5, and it is, they call it multi-frame generation, right? Okay, so now it's dynamic. So it can go up to 6x, but also it'll scale to hit your target frame rate now, which is cool. So it doesn't just blast your FPS into like 500 FPS when you don't need to have your GPU working at like 100%.
Yeah.
So it'll just hit whatever frame rate you want. And it's like, we good? Okay, cool. So that's pretty neat stuff. They're showing off, I thought that was really cool. They're showing off basically AI assistance in games for tutorials. So they did it with Total War. You know, Total War has like 1 billion buttons, and, you know, you've got like 52 archers and they've got like, you know, whatever amount of pikemen. And you're like, can my army beat their army? And you can just ask it in game and it'll be like, that might be a tough battle. I would suggest, you know, adding some cavalry or whatever, you know, whatever makes sense.
Yeah.
Probably don't want cavalry against pikemen, but you know what I mean.
Archers would actually be fantastic against pikemen.
Yes, you're right. It was a terrible example.
It's okay.
I completely
I get what you were trying to put down.
Yes. I don't want to look like a Total War noob over here.
I mean, everyone clearly knows you're a fake, so, you know, it's all right. Don't worry about it.
So I thought that was kind of cool, because, I mean, realistically, how cool would it be just to, I mean, like, that's kind of like the next iteration of tutorials, is like, you just go, let me play. And then you get to something complex, because a lot of these games are really complex now. And you're just like, how do I make this? What do I do here? Like, imagine just a Minecraft game where it's just like telling you the recipe that you forgot because you couldn't remember, you know, or something like that.
That could be helpful. I could definitely see that.
So I thought that was cool. They got 4.5 looks cool, but, you know, they brought me in to see 4.5 at GDC, and I was like, wait, you held out DLSS 5 on me? Like, come on, guys. Like, I didn't even get to see it. So I'm like, now that I get to talk about 4.5, they're like, DLSS 5. I'm like, what am I even talking about?
You.
Yeah.
Well, that one's more, you know, that's closer, so.
Yeah, DLSS 5 is like the crazy future world. first time at GDC, bro. Tickets to GDC are like $1,200. It is
$1,200. Did you have a good time at least?
Yeah, I mean, I was hustling, the whole time I was there. So I was just running around and doing stuff. I didn't pay for my pass to get on the show floor. A company they just gave me one of their employee passes, and I had somebody else's name.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, but the show floor is like 40% AI tech.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It was like I was taking photos of it all. It was like everything and anything you could ever think of. AI integrated into video games somehow.
Yep.
Some of it was cool, some of it was whatever, but I mean, they had stuff where it was like a Roblox style game where, how everybody in Roblox is like making like weird janky levels, and then you play them and you're like, oh, it's a racing game or whatever. This was like that, except if you just prompted it to make whatever game you wanted. So you're just like, make me an FPS, but also we can drive cars and shoot rocket launchers while we drive around. And like a minute later, you're doing that. And you're like, okay, that's pretty crazy.
I mean, it's interesting, I guess. Is it any good?
I mean, it's as good as Roblox, in my opinion. So... I mean, that's not fair to the high-end Roblox mods, but the general Roblox jank, they were basically prompt
because Roblox is now a
engineering
platform for developers to make titles, and they actually make bank off of it. Like,
oh yeah,
I think
dude.
Roblox is one of the highest grossing revenue sources for gaming. It's
wild.
massive.
Well, yeah, the guy who does the sound for my game, his full-time job is I think it's like a 15-person Roblox dev team.
Okay. Yeah. I believe it.
Yeah. They make that much money to like support a full-time 15-person dev team. So whenever he gets a little pocket of time, he helps out on our thing. And then he's like, back to the big game, Roblox.
Back to the real job.
Yeah. I'm like, whoa, okay. So yeah, the AI stuff was crazy. They had some AI controlled NPCs that were like in FPS games. That they're showing off with, I don't remember the name of that 10-cent game that's like, I guess it's sort of like an extraction style shooter. Battle Arena, something.
Oh, ABI, Arena Breakout Infinite.
Oh, I can never remember that stupid
it's a terrible name, so
it's
don't worry about it.
Dumbest name ever.
It's an awful name.
Yeah. So I got to see that live and see their LLM AI essentially, where not only they could be your teammates, so you could just be like, hey, Bob, or whatever their name was, like check that room or watch my 6, and they would straight up do it, and you're like, whoa, that's cool. And you're doing it on voice comms to them also. So, I mean, basically, we don't need to play together anymore, Matt. I could just be like,
I've been replaced by your AI buddies.
I've trained one on all your personalities. It talks like you now, makes all the fun Matimio quips. I'm like,
that's creepy.
Yeah,
that's creepy.
Well, I mean, you game during the night. I game during the day. If I want to play with Matt, I got to play with AI Matt.
That's so depressing, dude.
Bro, it's coming. It is. This stuff is. There was so much AI at the show. Like, it is. It's just nuts. I'm like, oh, so this is exactly where the whole industry is going.
So was the NVIDIA thing the standout, or was there anything else that you thought was like the big thing?
It's all back end tech at GDC.
Okay.
So they're not really being like, here's the next big game. It's more like, here's a tool that lets you debug all your code in like half the time, and that's like most of what's on the show floor. And then there's a whole section that's really janky in dev games, which are specifically just for GDC. So there'd be like, they'd like hand you a giant 6-foot-long toothbrush, and then there'd be like a bunch of teeth in front of you. And then you start brushing the teeth, and then like the game screen updates with like how good you're cleaning the teeth. And you're like, okay, this is absurd, but
that sounds like fun.
Yeah, I think they just do it to like keep the show floor interesting. Otherwise, it's just going to be like, use our marketing AI software, or, that kind of, it's just going to be endless booths of that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was interesting. It was wild to see most of the show floor just being like, AI, don't forget about your AI. And you're like, okay, I got it. I see where we're going. The future.
The future is now.
So yeah, it was fun. And I also was pitching my game the whole time I was there too. So that was fun. Yeah.
Very cool.
It's like, check out my game, man. Want to check out my game?
I do, in fact, yes.
Yeah. Oh, and I got some recognition, some nods on the show floor from other game devs, which I was like, I'm one of you now. Check it out. I was like, what's up, dude?
All right. Once you make it big, remember us little people down here. All right.
All right. I'll get you in a GDC one year, Matt. I'll use my clout. Man. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, a lot happened. I guess Marathon came out by last podcast also. Yeah. But have you been playing it? We missed. Yeah.
Oh, have I been I've really enjoyed Marathon.
Nice,
I know
dude.
the internet seems to be polarized about it, but man, I have had so much fun with that game.
That's great to hear. I like it too, and I'm rooting for it, right? Like I really want it to succeed because there's a chance it might not, but
yeah. So yes, I've been playing a lot of Marathon. Obviously we had a chance to play during all the play tests. There was the betas and everything, right?
Yeah.
And then the lead up to it was Perimeter and Dire Marsh, and those are fine. They're fine maps.
Yeah.
But I think the real sauce of it has been Outpost. Outpost is fantastic.
Yeah.
Genuinely one of the more intricate but also intuitive maps too, whereas you kind of have a general vibe of what you need to do. The center is the main goal, right? It's that's where all the good loot is at, but there's so many other ways of approaching and getting around, and it's a great map. It's a really great way of experiencing an extraction game, and I think they did a great job with it.
Yeah. How are you liking the more PvP centric vibe compared to say Ark?
I enjoy it. It's definitely a couple of times I've come across people who are chill and we won't see each other. And this is probably why we didn't actually fight each other.
Yeah.
But they'll be like, hey buddy. And I'll be like, how you doing up there, big man? They're like, I'm just going on a quest. I'm like, yeah, me too. I'll see you later. And then we'll kind of but we'll cautiously walk away, but we don't never see each other. But if you do see someone, just blast at them. There's no
shoot
hey,
on
friendly?
sight. Yeah.
Friendly? No, it's you see someone, you're aiming down sight and you're letting it rip.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed it. It's definitely way more PvP focused than Ark, at least the experience that I have with Ark. Even with aggression based matchmaking, I would PvP, but there was still moments of hey, will we PvP or not, right? But this is just full on, and it's been enjoyable.
Yeah. I think I like it too. I haven't had as much time to play because I've been doing GDC stuff, but
yeah,
I do want to jump back into it a bit more. I don't know what else to say about it other than it seems like Bungie's also moving quick with it. All the feedback we had from the server slam, I was like, whoa, they've already adjusted audio. Remember we're whining about audio in the server slam being...
Well, the funny thing is that, so yes, they were saying that audio is not... before it was only about 150 meters to 200 meters out when you could hear a gunshot. And then they increased that very quickly. And then a lot of people were complaining whoa, this is now going too far. So they're going to reel it back because they're it was just third-party central all the time. And at the end of the day, you do want to be able to know where people are.
They got to dial it in. So they're just finding the right spot for it. But I thought it was cool that they changed it so quickly because they're
they've been responsive.
Yeah.
For sure. Also, the notion that there's very little PvP, now that I think people kind of understand what's going on, or I don't know, but I play a lot of solo, and the solo experience is a horror game. It is absolutely terrifying. You are lurking around in shadows, moving around, opening up vents. You are trying to survive.
Who do you play? Are you the stealthy bastard, or who?
No,
are you?
a lot of people do play as the assassin class. I like the thief a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Being able to grapple hook up. If someone ambushes you and you're oh no, because the time to kill is so quick, if you can't get into a position where you can be able to heal without them being able to push you, you're probably going to die, especially if you took a lot of damage. So if you could just be yoink up to a rooftop, now they've got to figure out how to get up onto the rooftop, and that gives you the opportunity to hopefully heal or get out. So I do like the thief for solo, but a lot of assassin characters, it's so tense. A lot of jump scares because sometimes you just won't hear them and they'll just be lurking in the shadows. And then when you switch on over to trios, it is just chaos. It's just running and gunning and everywhere, right?
Have you noticed?
It's a very different experience.
Have you noticed any footstep updates or anything since because I just noticed when playing solos briefly was like, oh wow, I just didn't hear people coming up behind me. Like they were very quiet.
So I believe if you are crouching and you're lurking around, you are quiet, but you are not silent.
Okay.
You are not like you do make
There's a lot of
little bit of
ambient
noise.
sounds in the game,
Yeah.
so it could easily mask that quiet footstep lurking if you're
Yeah,
not looking for it.
I don't want to jinx myself because maybe I'll start getting just absolutely bamboozled all the time. But there's a lot of moments where if you use context clues around you, you'll be able to kind of pick up. Like, there's many times I'll like look to my left and I'm like, why did I look to my left? And there's a dude there. You know, it's like, did I just get lucky? Was it because like I heard something? Also because the AI is constantly around, as long as you're like listening to the AI and what they're reacting to, you can kind of get a gauge as to where people are as well. The verticality audio is also really good, where you can actually tell when someone is above or below you.
Nice.
It's not bad. I wouldn't say it's on the same level as Hunt Showdown, but there's many times where I'm like, where this guy sounds like he's right next to me. But then I realize, oh no, he's above me. Because of the audio,
cool.
which is good. So the audio seems to be pretty solid, at least so far.
Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. I'm I'm excited about it. I want to get back into it. I feel like I missed the first week because of that, but
yeah,
I'm gonna catch up. Although, what do you think about the seasonal reset? You think it's the right thing for this game?
I don't know, because I'm really enjoying it now.
Yeah.
But would I want to go through all these quests all over again? Would I want to be doing it all over again? I don't know.
Do you think there's enough
that enjoyable
quest or a skill divergence where you could make a different type of build, or is it all similar-ish?
No, it's all pretty similar.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of pain points. The inventory is too small. They're going to be addressing that though in the coming days, apparently, where they're going to be if you could like your meds will all be in like one slot, right? That you can then chunk them over when you need them. So that will hopefully alleviate that a little bit. But there's a fair amount of like cores and upgrades that you can put in your character that actually will have a distinct effect on certain strategies, right?
Yeah.
It won't completely revolutionize the way that you play, but like I've seen some legendary items where if you're playing as the Vandal, you can jump 3 times in the air and just fly across the map.
Oh, sick.
There's one that allows you to use your grapple hook twice as the Thief. It has 2 charges instead of just 1.
Yeah.
So there's the later end game stuff does start to significantly change at least some of the gadgets and some of your abilities in a meaningful way. We don't have the true end game yet. That is the Cryo Archive. If it's anything like Outpost, but more challenging and just as varied and just as good as Outpost, we'll be eating good. The worry that I have is that if it's not, then we've got one fantastic map. Perimeter is okay and Dire Marsh is okay. I don't dislike them, but I don't love them.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to get pretty repetitive because then you've only got 4 maps, and 4 maps isn't a lot.
Well, hopefully Bungie goes, okay, what do people like? Okay, they like Outpost. What do they kind of meh about? Okay, our first maps, and like change their production pipeline, or maybe even go back to the first maps a little and add a little pizzazz in there, to make them a little more exciting.
We'll see. We'll see.
It'd be nice. I'm always a fan.
Overall, though, I've really enjoyed it. I know that there's a lot of people that are disliking it because of the fact that Bungie seems to, have distanced themselves. They clearly made a new game and it wasn't Destiny. So I get that a lot of Destiny fans are upset that it wasn't Destiny. I get that the art style is definitely polarizing, but when I'm actually playing the game and I'm having these fun fights and I'm getting out and engaging with the quests and stuff like that, like it definitely has its hooks in me. So I'm at least enjoying the ride for now. Will I want to do it all over again in a couple of months? Remains to be seen, but at least the ride now has been fun.
Fair enough, man. It's good. It's good to hear. I want good things to happen for Bungie right now. By the time this podcast goes live, the new Battlefield update will be out. With the Hegental base, I believe, and Nightfall, right? Is it adding nighttime modes to more maps? I have some.
They're adding. I think it's just that map, which is weird because I'm pretty sure that map is mainly interior. So it's like, hey, it's night, but it's in a side of a base. So okay, we'll see.
Yeah. I'm not like overly hyped for it, but I definitely want to check it out. It's a good looking map from the trailer. And we need some new maps, even though it is CQB. And yeah, I don't know what else is going on with Battlefield other than,
unfortunately, not a lot. It's just the drip feed content of live service. For whatever reason, they just are allergic to releasing a big update with like 4 maps, and they're like, well, no, we got to do this one map every month or two, and well, enjoy.
They're locked into this formula. Okay, I found my notes on it. So, new limited time playlist, Team Deathmatch. Like, who cares really?
They're like team. That's the team deathmatch and domination on the new modes. Like, cool.
Well, and that's with the darkness modifier, MVGs and flashlights. Yeah. Okay, like I mean, that's a day maybe of entertainment before. Not even a day. That's like a couple of hours before you're like, that's all right.
It could be fun. It could be.
Yeah, maybe I'm being whatever, but I'm basing this off of the winter event last season where I was like, all right, 2 hours of that was more than enough. And that was all the time I put into the winter mode. Then they have like I guess they're getting Nightfall for Red Sec. I don't know if that's actually coming out this week.
Yeah, I think they said it's gonna be for Gauntlet too.
Okay. Which, all right, Gauntlet wasn't like bad or anything, but also I'm just not getting as hyped up for game mode stuff versus maps. And then the dirt bike I guess is coming, so that'll be cool. And a new SMG and stuff, but it's kind of just very formulaic, and they're sticking to the formula, and I think a lot of people are kind of tired of the formula, so we'll see. I hope it's good. I will be checking that out tomorrow, of course.
Yeah, same here. I like Battlefield, so I'm looking forward to it, but I'm also not like super like, this is gonna change the way we play.
Sure. Battlefield's kind of a classic game, and it's not trying to reinvent anything. I see that you played the much more popular game when Marathon launched. There was 2 big games. There was Marathon, and then there was the mega game that launched.
The mega hit. Yeah, I love how everyone was like, wow, look at how embarrassing this is that Slay the Spire 2 has 500,000 concurrent players on Steam.
Honestly,
Absolutely
that is so insane. I couldn't believe it because I know Slay the Spire 1 was a popular game. I played it. I liked it. But it wasn't anywhere near that level, I don't think.
No, not even close. So, a lot of people are like, hey, Bungie should be embarrassed. And it's like, well, if Bungie should be embarrassed, then like every AAA game that's come out like should be embarrassed because like even game of the year recipients didn't even reach that high. Like it's nuts. Like they did. So they should be very proud of themselves. The game itself is fantastic. I believe there are 5 different characters. I played a decent amount of Slay the Spire, but I didn't like go all in or anything like that. So forgive me if I don't know the differences in too much detail, but good variants in all the classes. They all feel unique. They got different play styles, and man, it's just kind of one of those like addicting, like, okay, what if I get this card and I pair it with this card? Oh, that's working really well. But then you reach the end and you're like, oh, God damn it, I didn't have enough of this to keep things rolling, right? And so it keeps you playing, keeps you engaged. I have now beaten it 5 times total.
Nice.
With all the characters. So I basically would beat it and then I would switch on over to another character and then try to beat it on that and like learn their nuance. And each of them were a lot of fun. It's been a fun ride so far.
Yeah, the deck building roguelike is like recipe for mega success, apparently. How many more deck building roguelikes do you think we're going to see in the next like 3 years? Obviously, they're not going to hit that level of success, I don't think, because, there's a limited time for each of these things. But with Balatro and now Slay the Spire 2, you're like, okay.
Monster Train's also really popular.
Okay. I haven't played that one, but I bet you there's like 6 studios starting up development right now. They're like, we got to get a card building.
We gotta capitalize on this right now.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have a whole bunch of boring roguelike failure games come out. But I'm glad to see the the more inspired titles get their dues.
Yeah, it is clearly early access. Without spoiling things, like there's clearly gonna be something more. And when you they've got these like unlock system where if you just basically by playing the game, you unlock cards, you unlock different relics and things along the way. But then it will be like you'll unlock something. It'll be like this will be added later on in early access. You're like cool. Even the art is like really bare bones, where it's like this is clearly just there, so you have something, right? Yeah, it's all placeholder.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that they're getting a little leeway for early access, because that's like an ongoing conversation among indie devs also, which is like, what are you guys going to ship for early access, right? Because there's that huge fear of like, hey, early access can mean so many different things, and depending on what people think it should mean, you could get absolutely lit up for like launching a game that's not far enough along.
Yeah.
So it's a really tricky line to.
You basically have to have a really advanced vertical slice of the game, something that people can really play that's really well polished, but also still has a lot of work to be done. Because that's kind of what's going on with it's an actual game. Like you can it's not a vertical slice, but it's a game that you can play and be satisfied with. And yes, you notice that there are things that need improving, but at the end of the day, it's still a fun game to play. Yeah. And you don't feel like you're missing out, or you're like, oh, that I played it for an hour and that was it, because that's all there was, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or alternatively, you create such amazing world crafting and lore that people will overlook the fact that your game barely is anything like Forever Winter.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think it's probably
That's
a bit
true.
more now.
I did forget about that game. Yeah,
that game did very well sales-wise for early access, but then you get into play it and you're like, this is awful.
Yep.
It's like very cool visually, but nothing works.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, that's about as early access as you'd ever want to go. They got their money. Also, and they seem to be continuing development. Also, I think Gray Zone Warfare is getting an update soon, and there's a similar situation of launching a game where you're like, there's not really much of a loop here at the start, where you're just like, I mean, like I can put like 2 to 3 hours into this game, and now I think I've done everything. So this new update that's coming out, I think it's going to have quite a lot of additional content for it. So I'm sort of rooting for them too, because they're sort of a slow growing project, which could eventually hit a nice critical mass, because it definitely appeals to the Milsim crowd. But I think they got enough money where I think they can actually explore the concept and actually dial something in that is fun and appealing. So I'm rooting for them. I hope they get to a good spot with that game too.
Yeah.
Did you see that Darktide is making a PvE extraction mode?
I did, yeah.
It's kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't played it. Apparently it's similar to something they've done in the past on Vermintide, but I could be wrong with that statement.
Okay.
So if I'm
I never played Vermintide.
Yeah. But yeah, from what I've heard, I need to look deeper into it. And I need to stop just listening to people online. But from what I've heard, it's kind of like a more of a Helldivers, where you sort of have objectives that you can accomplish around, and you sort of semi-open world-ish, where you go around and you try to accomplish those tasks and collect what you need to collect to get the job done, which could be fun. If it's done properly, you're not going just from A to B. You can open it up and explore.
Yeah. And Helldivers has proven that formula can be super successful.
It can be super successful. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and Darktide's already kind of got most of the logic you would imagine that you would need for a game like that, in terms of all the PvE stuff and the class combinations and working together with teammates. So hopefully that's a nice transition for them. That's also another project that I kind of root for, because it's sort of such a weird game to a degree. It's like the non-heroes of the Warhammer universe. They're like, we're prisoners and like rejects and all this other stuff, and we've come together for nobility. No, just because we can lessen our prison sentence or something. Yeah. They're just like, prisoner 345, you're going on this crazy death mission.
It fits with the lore 100%.
Yeah.
It's the universe is just so dystopianly awful. So yeah.
I think like it might be blasphemy, but I sort of enjoyed Darktide more than the was it Space Marine?
Space Marine 2? Okay.
Yeah. And
I
not
don't think that's blasphemous.
Well, people seem to universally love Space Marine 2, and Darktide was a little more mixed. But I do
think it was a better game at release than it was Darktide, for sure.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think I just like the vibe of Darktide more. In the sense of you're just kind of these gutter rats trying to survive in the sewer. Like, I like that. It's fun.
Yeah. It does kind of transition nicely in. Have you heard of Toxic Commando?
I have heard of it. I have not played it, but
so it's Saber Interactive, the guys that brought World War Z and Space Marine 2, you know, so they're very comfortable with horde shooters. And well, this is another one where you play as a bunch of different characters that you can pick from, and you shoot a bunch of zombies in the face.
Yeah.
It's fun.
What sets it apart from
I was going to get to. So what sets it apart
zombie shooter?
So World War Z is definitely not going for a grounded aesthetic, but it's, you know, because like it's a zombie thing, right?
Yeah.
But you don't have like special abilities in that game necessarily. Like you kind of do, but this one is, the story is they get the heroes get infected, and then a scientist puts this device on them that allows the infection to stop. But they gain superpowers, basically, where you can start to use like bubble shields, and you can heal your teammates in like an aura around you. You can basically you're using the virus to your advantage to then take out the zombies. The other twist on it is that you have a car that you can get, and you need to fuel that car, and you need to drive it around because it's more open-ended. Think sort of Helldiver-ish, where you can pretty much go anywhere you want to do side objectives. You have your main objective, but you can go around and collect resources that you can then use to upgrade your weapons when you get back to the base. You can, go and get gears around the map, which those gears you can use for the final part of the mission, which will make the final part easier. And it's, like I said, it's kind of like semi-open world in that respect, where you can kind of go where you want. World War Z, you basically just had regular zombies. This has that, of course, as well, but they also have your mutant zombies, the elites, where they've got different abilities, and ones will grab you, ones will, charge at you and have a lot of HP and stuff like that, which is fun, right? Like they know how to shoot, they know their zombie mechanics, and they do a good job with it.
Screenshots look cool. It's a nice looking game, and it looks fun, like aesthetically. Satisfying.
The concern I have with it is the beginning of the game and the end of the game, you are fighting the same zombies from start to finish. And it gets a bit repetitive. Now, I don't know if it's repetitive because I'm just not in the mood for it right now, but also because it's semi-open.
Yeah.
Every map starts to feel the same. Because with you go to A to B kind of, design, more linear. You can have really cool set pieces. You're like, oh, guys, this is the hallway section on whatever map, right? The prison map, right? And they're going to be coming down here. And you can have some really cool set pieces. And they do have that in this game. But because it's more open world, like they're going to be coming from every direction. And it just kind of comes samey. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. You can't orchestrate the gameplay like you could with a linear map design. So you can't be like, okay, when they get to here, then the zombies are going to come from these 3 points. They'll have to make a defense over there. And then it's like a very clear, we can absolutely customize this engagement. Every engagement has to be like, well, I don't know, just put some stuff and they can fight around it. So yeah, open world's hard to make the gameplay more potentially cinematic or sequenced, properly sequenced.
Yeah. But that said, like I've had fun with it. I've enjoyed my time. It's not bad. It's just, something I noticed for sure.
That's the challenge with zombie games, right? Is like, so either you've got the DayZ, like I don't want to engage the zombies because I'm just scavenging and just trying to conserve ammo and food and stamina. And so like when they see you, then you're like, oh, now I have to engage them. And like, yeah, they might not be challenging, but the challenge is more a battle against scarcity than it is the the zombies per se themselves.
Yeah.
And then when the more arcadey zombie games, well, okay, they're just throwing waves and waves of zombies at you until like eventually some get through or you get overwhelmed or whatever. And that can get more repetitive, I find, just because they're hitting you with thousands of zombies, and after a while you're just like, oh, okay, more zombies. You don't say. Okay. You know, like it's...
And at the end of the day, that's the thing with World War Z as well, right? Like you have to like shooting the zombies. That has to be fun. So if you like that, you like that gameplay loop, there's like you level up your weapons, you level up your character, there's like a skill tree, where you kind of pick and choose. Like there's some depth to it. I did get a key from the developer, so full disclosure on that. But they said that it's about 15 hours of like zombie killing. So, you know, not too bad. But I don't know if you're going to be able to get like, you know, hundreds of hours out of the game necessarily, unless you just really vibe with leveling up every single one of the classes and all the characters and the
Some people just like zombies, man. Well,
I do. I mean, there's another game we could talk about, unless you got something else that also features zombies.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
So, Nokwun, The Last Paradise. Just take a guess at what kind of genre this is.
Is it a tropical zombie game? Tropical island zombie game?
It is Korean, and it is an extraction game.
Oh, okay.
It's another extraction game. Third person.
Looking at it.
Yeah.
The graphics look good.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The graphics are fantastic. I played a demo or a beta or an alpha of this, I feel like a couple of years ago, and I wrote it off. I was like, this is awful.
I know. Yeah, I looked at this game maybe 4 or 5 months back, and I was just looking at videos of it, and I was like, okay, I don't really... You have like a home base or something, like a home area?
So the story of it is essentially there is this city where people are trying to live. Yeah. Where it's like you get into the city and you are at the lowest citizen status. They have like status, right? Where you have to level up your status. And so that means that you are nothing. You live in a container, like a storage container, and you've got like a bed on the ground, and that's about it, right? Yeah. You go out and the extraction gameplay loop. You do some quests, and then you get to the higher level, and now your container's a little bit bigger. Then you get higher and higher, and then all of a sudden you get
storage containers. Yeah.
Basically, right? Yeah. Literally. And then I, by the end of the playtest, got like 2 rooms, right? Like I moved away from the container, and then you'll be able to rise through the citizen ranks, and you'll get like a visual representation of yourself in the city of your living space, and you can customize it with furniture. You can kind of make it your own, which I know sounds kind of silly, but it's actually really satisfying to feel an actual sense of progression with your actual home base that make it your own.
There's so few survival extraction games that do that to a good degree. There's that one that was, I think, just consoles for a while, and then they finally ported it to PC, but I don't think it did well on PC. I can't even remember what it's called, but it was like a radiation survival game.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I can't remember what it's called, though.
And you had a home base, but even then, it was all kind of like, well, if you unlock the thing, you get your tool thing, and it always goes right there. You couldn't customize it. So yeah, you're saying you can kind of customize. So
this like you get like a kitchen, and you can move the stove around if you want. You upgrade the stove, and then all becomes bigger and more advanced. You can make different recipes and stuff like that.
Nice.
And that was one thing that really surprised me, is that there's a food and morale system at the beginning. And for those first couple of raids, like all you care about is like actually going out and finding food, because you're starving. You have have nothing, right? And so it was kind of, I don't know how it's gonna affect like long-term progression. But like, yeah, you literally feel like you're scrapping and scraping by to just survive.
I love the home base mechanic in any of those games, where you're always bringing stuff back to upgrade the base, and then you venture back out, and you're like, it's sort of this. It's a pack rat mentality, but it works really well for video games, I think.
So I've really enjoyed that aspect of it, and I think it's really cool to be able to see and get like a bigger house and a bigger place. that gets nicer and nicer as you rise up or actually go down. And because you start at like 18 and I think Citizen 1 will be the end, and who knows what you're going to be living in at that point. But I think it's nice to have that kind of progression. So the actual game is third person. And it feels and looks a lot like Arc Raiders. I don't know if this was intentional, but like all the key bindings that I had in Arc Raiders transferred exactly on over into this game. So it's like either they were directly inspired or it's just a pure coincidence, right?
Yeah.
It's not a first-person shooter. It is a third-person melee-focused game. There are weapons that you can find, but they are very rare. And it's not really, I don't think it's really the main focus of what the game is going to be. Now, the worry that I have is that when you're fighting zombies, the melee is decently fun. You kind of just, thwacking around and everything, and the zombies will react to your hits pretty well. You've got your basic zombies, but then you've got more elite zombies where some of them will actually be essentially dead raiders like you who died, but they have a shovel and they remember how to use the shovel apparently, and they'll just swing that sucker around and has like moves that you have to learn, and you have to be able to dodge that out of the way. It's right?
For Honor Zombie Edition. Yeah,
kind of a little bit. And they'll usually be guarding like good loot. There's also a ton of keys to find like good loot behind doors and stuff like that. So it's actually got some sauce to it. Like there's something there that I'm really enjoying. The PvP, I don't really know if it's going to be okay, because at the end of the day,
shovel
you're basically
PvP?
just thwacking each other, right? I don't know how much skill expression, because like I did encounter some PvP, and it was literally just the two of us walking up to each other, and we just started thwacking, right? Like just started hitting each other.
Yeah. Did you win?
I did win a couple of times, yes, but then I fought someone who was like absolutely juiced, came in with like the biggest like armor pieces I've ever seen. Like he clearly had some good items, and I just was like, okay, well, I guess I die now.
Yeah.
Right. So it was fun though. I think they got something going. Like I said, the pain points or the worry points that I have is, will the melee combat be engaging enough in PvP to make it interesting and not just frustrating and just like, RNG. But we'll find out. For a game that I completely wrote off to now I'm genuinely excited to see where it goes, was a pleasant surprise.
I got to give him credit for making to your testament, a melee focused zombie game really fun. Like, it's hard to, it means it's that gameplay loop has to be really satisfying. It's just whacking zombies.
Well, I also will admit I am completely addicted to the gameplay loop of extraction games, going in, risking loot, but also getting stuff out of it, and then having those upgrades go to something where not only is it just a visual thing, but also you're getting stronger along the way too. There's something about that loop that I really like, and I love scavenging and feeling like that scavenger.
Dude, if it unlocks like abilities like crafting station stuff, cooking, like you said, like that is really addictive, because then you're like, oh, if I could just cook my own food, and then it's like, well, you could.
And you do.
If you can find a this or a that or a propane tank or whatever.
It is a little funny though, because you will encounter, they're like, oh, so you can now make a sandwich. And how do you make a sandwich? You find 3 old sandwiches and you make 1 good sandwich. Which is like, okay.
They had the bones of the crafting system built, and they're like, how are we gonna make sandwiches? And they're like, I don't know, 3 old ones, make 1 new one.
Yeah, it's a little silly. The more advanced,
otherwise
crafting,
it'd be too annoying. It'd be like, you need 2 slices of bread, you need a piece of meat, you need a tomato.
Some of it is exactly like that, where you do need to have bread and you do need to have like jam, and then you make a sandwich, right? And some of the more advanced crafting stuff is taking like rice with water, and you make steamed rice, right? So it's not just, I can look past it, but
Fair
it was
enough.
it was a little bit funny to just combine old food to make new food.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the game having similar controls to Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders was in the news a little bit this last week. They are replacing the AI voice lines with real actors. Matt, did you hear about that?
What a crazy idea.
Yeah. The studio head said they sound better. Crazy.
it feels like PR, which is fine.
Yeah.
And I'll definitely take it because that's
It's
what
100%
a
a PR move.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny is like they did it as a cost cutting measure for game development.
100%.
And then they made a crap load of money and they went and they paid the actors to do the voiceovers. And I'm like, okay, fair enough.
That's
good on them.
That's great. That's how exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
So good on them for going back and doing the right thing. Now there are still AI lines in the game. I don't know how many of them they've replaced or if they're going to replace them all, but that is interesting. I am kind of curious to see how different it is.
I'm assuming it was like quest givers.
I would assume so too.
Like
I didn't actually see which ones. I think the community has been following it a little closer, but yeah, without them saying specifically which ones got updated, you just have to do quests and be like, oh, I think they sound more human now.
Sounds better. Yeah, the cadence sounds more natural.
Yeah. So good on them. Good on Arc for doing good things. Did you hear? So a while back we talked about the Subnautica 2 like craziness around the devs having some contract that said they would get a $250 million bonus, which is absurd. It's
ridiculous.
It's potentially the production budget for Marathon if people estimated it correctly. You're just like, this is too much money to give to people. And then so I guess Crafton, who bought Unknown Worlds Entertainment, who makes Subnautica, tried to force the devs, the studio heads out by saying, oh, they missed their release window and they weren't doing a good job and blah, blah, blah. Therefore, we don't have to pay them this $250 million bonus because they didn't live up to the contract terms that we stipulated. So they've been in litigation. Huge surprise, obviously.
Yeah.
The lawsuit,
for that kind of money, absolutely.
Yeah, right. $250 million, you don't just walk away. The judge in the lawsuit ordered Crafton to reinstate the Unknown World Entertainment CEO and extend the $250 million earnings window. So basically giving him another chance to get it. Now, granted, Crafton responded and was like, we don't agree with the judge and we're trying to overturn this right now and blah, blah, blah.
Of course they are.
But this is it's pretty interesting because I think it's going to make some of these big studios think twice about trying to screw over people in these contracts. But also, maybe
I'm
just
glad it's come out that that they were the ones because they were trying to paint it as like the CEO was being incompetent and they were mismanaging things and doing their own projects, which very well could have been true, partially true.
There's probably some truth on both sides here, but yeah.
But surprise, surprise, the big company, trying to throw a fastball and curveball and be like, oh, you know what, we're actually not going to pay you.
It's sort of the most ludicrous contract you can imagine. I've never heard.
Who agreed to it in the first place? Like that's the thing.
Don't do a $250 million bonus for like shipping in a certain release window. Like, just ludicrous. Just do back end stuff. Don't do bonuses. Do back end. It's so safer where you're just like, all right, you get this percentage of the earnings. That way, we don't owe you some massive lump sum amount of money that we may or may not have. What a terrible idea.
And then incentivize them to do well too.
Yeah. Well, also, maybe they got $250 million laying around. I don't know a lot of game developing studios that just got that kind of capital sitting there and being like, all right. Also, what if the game bombs and then they still owe $250? Just craziness.
I'd be surprised if Subnautica 2 bombs, but I hear you.
You know what I mean? Like for
not $250 million. But like,
well, what if the Subnautica knockoff comes out right ahead of them and people are like, this is so much better than Subnautica in every way, and steals all their thunder, and then Crafton's like, oh no,
it's possible,
totally possible in today's crazy market.
They did showcase actual base building though. Did you take a peek at that? It looked pretty good.
Yeah.
It was much more modular where you can the lighting in that game is going to be really beautiful too.
Oh yeah.
Where you have a lot more control over like windows and where you want to place different objects. You know what? And stuff
I did
like
see
that.
It did look really cool. Yeah.
It looks great. It looks solid. Walking down a hallway and having the light go through multiple small windows in a very organic way looked smooth.
Yeah. Is there a way to play that game where you don't have to deal with giant, horrible fish that try and eat you?
Yeah, it's called play the game and never go into the deep end.
Is that a fun and rewarding experience or
No?
Oh, okay. Well, dang it, Matt. I don't like underwater big fish. They scare me, okay? It's basically a horror game for me.
Have you played the first one?
I mean, I avoid underwater scary games. I don't.
No,
yeah. I mean, okay, I don't avoid underwater scary games, but I don't like big fish that chase you through the water. So Subnautica is, yeah, I saw the videos of people getting chased by like whatever, sharks, squids and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Don't need anything chasing me.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I hope that even with this troubled development, they can make a great game because Subnautica 1 is one of my favorite survival games ever.
Yeah, same. I hate to see all this production BS with money and contracts and all that stuff get in the way of great game development because everybody wants to play this game. Dude, do you remember Mario 64? You ever play that?
Do I remember Mario 64? Yeah, I remember it.
You remember the star you could get, but you had to go down by the giant eel thing underwater?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. I never got that one.
It?
I didn't get that star. I was like, nope, I'm good. I'll
not
just not get all the stars.
So this is just an ingrained part since childhood.
I don't like underwater stuff, dude. I don't like it.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, freaks me
out. I love
out.
how that's what you remember from that specifically.
Yeah, I don't remember anything else about that game other than that terrifying eel that would try and get you underwater.
It's fair.
Scarred for life. Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that you spent so much microtransaction money in Highguard because the servers have officially shut down.
Oh, I know. I played the final day for a couple of hours.
Did you really?
I did, yeah. Because it's like, I mean, we're never going to be able to play this game ever again.
You're kind of documenting it, yeah.
Yeah, so I played it one more time. I didn't play it for long because it's just like, this game is it's very mediocre. But it was fun just one last go, but also not surprised that it's shut down.
I've been sort of, it's very interesting right now, but the industry seems to be dividing into like, okay, AAA big production, they're all going for live service stuff. And because that's like their survival idea for the future. It's like, we'll just make these mega IPs. Everybody's going to want to play them forever. And they'll just have a constant revenue income. And we can just keep these teams pumping out content and DLC and blah, blah, blah forever.
Yeah.
And so everybody's trying to go for this live service stuff. But there's a finite amount of live service games that can exist in the world. And I think a lot of them are starting to find out the hard way that ain't going to work. And Highguard, I think, was aiming for this weird market, and it's not to say that was the flaw of the game per se, but all these games are shooting for this highly saturated market right now, and it's like anything even mid-tier is not going to make it. You have to be exceptional. So I think there's going to be a lot of mid to even mid-good games that are just going to fall flat on their face because sorry, you have to be exceptional to make it in the live service industry these days.
I feel like it's more of a pie situation where there's only so much of the pie. Like you can have a slice, but if you now because before you had Apex Legends, you've got Fortnite, you've got PUBG and stuff like you got some live services and they make up a huge portion of that pie. And then you try to take some nibbles off of that, and you might. But let's say everything was equal, right? Like that means you're cutting the pie out of someone else. There's only so much time. There's only so many people in the world to be able to play live service games all the time and make it a lifestyle.
Totally.
While that's still true for like new games, but at the same time, people will take some time away from their live service game that they normally play to play a new game to then go back to their live service game.
Yeah.
Right. So, but the idea of I'm going to take away time to play a new live service game.
Yeah, correct.
You know what I mean? I feel like there's a bit of a difference there. So it's like, no, I'm not going to leave this because you're basically now competing, even if it's not the same style or same genre, because it's a live service. It kind of fits that same niche of that pie, if that makes any sense at all.
Well, Marathon's a good example in that.
Yeah,
I mean the people who are playing Marathon didn't just materialize out of nowhere.
Right.
They were playing other live service games. Probably a bunch were playing Arc Raiders. probably a bunch were playing other shooter style games. And so they, ARC attracted enough people from enough different similar style genres to come over and play their game. But yeah, you're ultimately trying to pull people away from different chunks of that pie. And that's a tough business to try and get into. I'm surprised by games like Highguard where you're like, they got all this money and for like this crazy concept and they're aiming for this market and this genre and like, okay, that's crazy, But I guess you put that like Titanfall pedigree behind stuff and they're like, oh yeah, developers of Titanfall, and that's happened countless times throughout the years where
how many times have you heard former developers of Blizzard?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh. The Blizzard pedigree has been used time and time again. And unfortunately, I've seen so many of those games just not make it, for one reason.
More of them have not made it than made it.
I would agree with you. And sometimes it's like, I follow games where it's like really high profile people who are like the creator of this entire genre, and then like their new studio just crashes and burns, and you're like, oh.
Well, speaking of, have you seen Jeff Kaplan is back and he made a new game?
Yeah, the mining whatever.
Yeah,
the gold mining, Gold Rush game or something.
Like I think it's called like something California. California's in the title.
Yeah, California Legend, the Legend of California.
Let me Google it right now.
Is that it? I saw 2 seconds of gameplay and was like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, it's a kind of a cowboy game. The Legend of California, I believe, is the name of the game.
Yeah. Okay, you know what it was? I only saw a clip of the mining gameplay, which was really funny because it just looks like kind of Minecraft to a degree where you're like, all right,
it's mining in a survival game.
Yeah, but so he's just in a cave, so I think they're just making fun of it. I didn't actually look at some of these. They actually look like concept art. I can't tell if this is a screenshot or fully. Okay, it looks.
They showed off apparently 10 hours.
Cool. Oh yeah,
Jeff Kaplan apparently streamed for like 10 hours. I need to watch.
Did you see that podcast with Jeff Kaplan? Or at least some of the clips?
I saw clips of it. Boy, oh boy, did it seem like Blizzard did him wrong. God damn.
Yeah. It's, everybody says, how do these great studios fall, right? We see it happen time and time again. Studio makes incredible games. Studio makes another incredible game. Oh, they're on fire. These guys know what's up. Give it a decade. Studios just churning out garbage, making terrible decisions, trying to escalate their revenue because they're now a publicly traded business, blah, 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 terrible CEOs. Yeah, that interview was brutal. So basically, for anyone who didn't see it, Jeff Kaplan's talking to Lex Fridman on his podcast, and he's like, I think it was the COO or the CFO. I think it was the CFO. CFO brought him into his office and basically said that what was the game? The
Overwatch.
Overwatch had to make like some astronomical amount of money, and if it didn't make that amount of money, they were going to fire like 1,000 people, and it was going to be all his fault.
Imagine putting that on one of your employees. Like, yeah, they're all gonna get fired. Like, what?
Pure insanity. Yeah. So he quit the company after that, and not a person on this planet could blame him for that because that's insane.
That's not even like managing. That's like moving into evil territory kind of, vibes where you're just you're not a good person to like be like, or 1,000 people are going to lose their job. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Like,
also you're talking to someone who's proven themselves through and through as a manager of people and somebody
who made one of the most successful new franchises ever. Like, everyone knows who Overwatch is. Everyone knows Tracer. You're gonna do that to that person?
And on top of that, all of their like crazy marketing crap, right? Where he's talking about like the NFL and how much money that they were like pretending that this game was set up to make, and obviously wasn't gonna make because they're out of their minds. He's like, that wasn't on him. That wasn't his decision. He's like, no, my job is to make a good game. Not to like make your NFL esports crap work, chill out, guys. And so like, this is a tale as old as time, but marketing execs, CFOs, whatever, are like, here's the plan. And then the actual people building it are like, that's a terrible idea. And they're like, execute it. And then it doesn't work. And they're like, you didn't execute it well enough. You're fired. You know, and you're like, it was a bad freaking idea, you idiot. So,
but of course they won't take responsibility for it. Then it must have been the underlings that did it wrong, right?
Yeah. So that was hard to hear, but just an example of how the greats fall. You know, Blizzard ain't what it used to be. And there was also a little commentary on Overwatch 2 being the dumbest decision of all time, and then clearly it can't, which is funny because you're like, yeah, tell us something we don't know. Everybody at the time was like, this is a terrible idea. And they're like, here's Overwatch 2, where we change all the stuff you liked about the first game and
now
don't
we're
let
back
you
to
go
Overwatch.
Back. Yeah, now we're back.
Now we're back to Overwatch.
Yeah, they pushed it all back. It's so funny. I mean, it sucks that Blizzard can't get their stuff together, but
it's doing well now.
Yeah,
I just checked on Steam, 83,000 on Steam right now. Like those are
pretty
damn good numbers. Like the recent update where they're like, hey, 5 new it's almost like DICE. It's almost like when you come out with a really big update that's solid, people will come back and play it in like big numbers and not just trickle back. Yeah. Who would have thought?
Yeah. Big content injections. Exciting.
Granted, there was, years build up to this, right?
Sure.
Like they had been refining and like adding and content. Like there was way more. So like when you're coming back to the game from like years, like you're not just getting those 5 characters, you're getting years of other additions.
Yeah.
But
how sick would it be if DICE was like, okay, we're trickling out the content for the first 2 seasons, but then like 6 months in, bam, hit us with like 8 new maps or something crazy, and you're just like,
sick.
Whoa. Yeah, that would be.
Well, I don't think they'd ever do 8 maps, but that would be 4 maps.
Yeah. 4
all
maps out of nowhere, and then that would be super cool.
Pretty cool, yeah. For me personally, that would get me to go back to play a game way more than anything else. A really good example of this is Space Marine 2. Absolutely love the game, and they come out with free updates every so often, but it's only like 1 mission, and it's like, yes, and this could just be content creator mode, right? Like I'm not going to go back and stream a game when it's just 1 mission. That's just not enough content. But when I come back a year later and there's 4 missions and a character, like all of a sudden get me back in there, right? All of it's new for me, but it wasn't all in one go, right? So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. I mean, a new map is cool, but like there's nothing turns me off more to Battlefield than when the new content is what I want to play, and then I just have to play a map on repeat.
That's the only thing. On repeat over and over and over again.
Yeah. Man, those BF1 updates were so much fun when like you get like a series of maps in a new area and you'd cycle through the maps, and like when BF5 finally like did the Pacific and you got a bunch of cool maps, I was like, oh, 4 now maps, we're eating, boys. Like we're eating good. And like, it's just such a different experience getting all that content that you can fully explore and enjoy all day long if you want to, and then play the next day and not have any gripes about it, where you're like, oh, I can't wait to play this map again because I've been cycling through all the maps and now for
me, it makes the content last longer. At least it does. I don't burn out on the content as quickly, because you're right. When I just wanted to play, because I think Containment is one of the best maps in Battlefield 6. I think it's fantastic. But when that's all you're playing over and over and over again, like you're gonna start to get some fatigue. Yeah, probably sooner than you normally would, because you're not injecting any other map into the mix.
Yep. They got to figure it out. They got to get their production pipeline dialed in, because they're too big to be releasing maps that slowly. And we've talked about it a billion times, but there is no way they shouldn't be able to find a faster way to produce good quality maps for people.
You would think so.
They've done it before. They can do it again. They've just bloated everything, I think, and they just need to dial it back in. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with EA. I don't even think they're officially bought out by the Saudis yet. Like maybe they will be, but
I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to it.
Yeah, And it'll be interesting to see if everybody's like, well, once they're private, they won't have to meet those investor blah, blah, blahs. And you're like, maybe, but also who knows, right? Like, it's not like a private company all of a sudden just immediately does better. So we'll see. I am looking forward to playing the new map. We'll get to cycle between the 2 new maps then when it comes out. Woohoo! And yeah, there's some games coming out. Is Crimson Desert gonna come out?
Crimson Desert. That's on the 19th.
19th. Okay, so we'll be able to play that before the next podcast.
Yep.
Exciting. And then there's like some Cube game coming out. Did you hear about that one?
Yeah, the Cube based off of, oh man, what was that game? It was wild. I can't remember the name of it. It's kind of like a Russian style. God, what is it called?
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember what it's called either.
The Cube Save Us, I think, is what the actual is it the Cube Save Us?
Yeah.
No, that's not it. No, Cube Save Us is different. That is coming out on March 17th.
Yeah, that's coming out tomorrow.
That is not the game I thought you were referring to.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about, that other Cube game, but that's not
coming
so
the
out.
Cube Save Us looks like it's a third-person melee-focused game. That looks weird. Okay. And then there is The Cube. It's called The Cube.
Okay, I'm going to look this one up. Too many Cube games, man. Cube games are popping off.
I think they're having a beta soon.
Well, there's a movie called The Cube, but now there's also a game called The Cube. Okay, I see the game.
Atomic Heart, that's it. So it's got the Atomic Heart aesthetic.
Yeah. This one does look cool, The Cube, but that one's doesn't have a release date. Okay.
Yeah.
There's like a very skin tight chick as one of the.
Oh no, they're definitely like not shying away from like, hey, we're definitely trying to appeal to a certain audience for sure.
Yeah. All the guys are like, here's our rough and tough armor and gear, and then the chicks are like, spandex
or very little clothing. Yep.
Yeah. Well, that looks it does look wild. Yeah. I don't know about the other Cube game, but yeah, cool. Some good stuff to look forward to. I'll be curious to hear your thoughts on Crimson Desert. I've been hearing rumblings about it being just massive and actually delivering on a scale.
Someone said like to get from the starter zone to the desert is like it takes you 4 hours to get there. I'm like, that's not a selling point for me these days.
4 hours on foot, on horseback, or on dragon.
I think it was on foot, and apparently there is abilities to fly and
you can
be
get
on
a
mount,
dragon.
so.
Yeah.
You can get a dragon.
See, that's the thing.
Like,
once
that's not a selling point.
Well, but once you go on your 4 hour journey and you get there, then they're like, would you like to buy a dragon? And then you buy yourself a dragon.
Would you like to buy a dragon?
And then you can dragon your way around the map, which sounds cool. With a map that big, having a flying mount sounds pretty dope. I want to see that.
It does.
Yeah. Well, should we wrap up the podcast there?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for dropping by the Live With Me podcast. We push the podcast out on Wednesdays to all the different podcast streaming platforms and YouTube if you want to see our lovely faces live. We appreciate any and all of you. And if you want to support the podcast further, you can check out our Patreon, which is linked below, and you can watch us record it live on Mondays. And after our podcast, we have a little chit chat about whatever's on our minds, what's going on. Timio's, weird anime games that he plays but won't tell anybody about and that kind of stuff.
Except for when it's off the podcast, yeah.
Yeah. Only off the podcast. But regardless, whoever shows up to listen to the podcast, they're going to get some super valuable advice at the end of each episode. Matt, take it away.
So my super valuable piece of advice is, the phrase, you should never bring a knife to a gunfight. Yeah, unless you're playing Marathon. Just know that the knives in those games are absolutely bananas, and don't be afraid if things are getting spicy and you're out of ammo and they're close to you.
Yeah.
Give them a nice little stab.
I'm embarrassed to say I've been on the receiving end of that one a little more times than I'd like to admit.
Oh, yeah.
Other games, you're like, oh, you died to melee, bro. You suck. In this game, you're like, oh, crap. Like, they're lethal. Yeah.
Yeah. You see a dude running at you with a knife. You're like, no.
Yeah. basically you kill him before he gets there, or get your knife out. Get ready.
You're done. Or you, dude, rounding a corner and seeing a dude with a knife and he's just staring at you and you're like 2 feet away and you don't have a shotgun, you're dead. Like there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. It's a cool vibe though. It gives the prepared player the edge, you know, and I do like that.
Yeah.
Well, everybody, thanks for dropping by. We appreciate y'all very much, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Take care.